and the world is mi familia. For this music is my language and the world is mi familia. This music is my language.
Are you all right, Niño? It's you. You are that boy, the one who came from the land of the living.
You know about me?
You are all anyone has been talking about. Why have you come here?
I'm Miguel. Your great-great-grandson.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. The weather is pretty miserable outside, but in the cinema, the sun is shining because we have a new Disney Pixar animation coming to cinemas. It's called Coco. You may have seen some of the previews, you will have seen the posters and the trailers and read the reviews. It's a really, really terrific animation. It's based around the Mexican Day of the Dead. It won the Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature. It's been nominated for that same category for the BAFTAs, and it will probably get Oscar nominations as well. However, when I was watching it, it reminded me of a film I'd seen and reviewed a few years ago, a 2014 film called Book of Life, directed by Yorgos Gutierrez and produced by Guillermo del Toro, who you'll know I'm a huge fan. When I wrote my review of Book of Life, I said, it's refreshingly sparky fare, eye-catching design, musical weirdness with proper laugh-out-loud jokes for young and old alike. Oh, and it proudly identifies Mexico as the center of the universe. Bullseye. Now, it turns out I wasn't the only person to notice some similarities between Book of Life and Coco. In fact, for a few years now, there's been a bit of a controversy bubbling along about whether or not Coco is actually ripped off Book of Life. Now, as far as I understand it, Book of Life went into production in 2012, and Coco was just announced in 2012, so Book of Life definitely had the jump on it, which made some people think that actually Coco is ripped off Book of Life. Then, in 2013, Disney Pixar did a strange thing. They attempted to trademark Day of the Dead, and this caused a huge outcry. Because people were saying, how on earth can you trademark something which is a huge national celebration? I mean, the Mexican Day of the Dead is part of the cultural heritage. You cannot trademark that. There was huge backlash. Disney backed down. Now, following that, Disney Pixar went out of their way to make sure that they were going to do Coco properly and with a degree of cultural sensitivity, and to bring on board those people who initially had spoken out against it. So, for example, Lalo Alcaraz, the artist, was brought on board and is now credited on Coco as a cultural consultant and also as a voice artist. Then in 2015, the director of Book of Life directly addressed the controversy when he tweeted, seriously, I have lots of friends working on Coco and I wish them all success. So he's downplaying the controversy. Now, my feeling about it is this. Despite the fact that some people are still obviously smarting from the fact that Coco, which is a huge release, appears to take some form of inspiration from Book of Life, my own feeling is the world is big enough for both those movies to exist together. Yes, they have similarities. Yes, there are musicians in them. Yes, there's the Day of the Dead in them. Yes, there's the journey from this world to the next. But they are very, very different films. More importantly, if everyone goes to see Coco, great, as long as they then check out Book of Life. If you go to see Coco, I'm sure you'll have a great time because it's such a well-made film and the animation is so exciting. The story is really touching. I mean, I laughed, I cried, I cheered. But I did remember Book of Life all the way through it. And what I really want is for Coco to be a huge hit and for everyone who sees Coco to go, I love that film, I'm going to go get Book of Life out on DVD. When Book of Life came out, it was kind of overlooked in mainstream circles, but it's one of my favorite animations of recent years. Love Coco, love Book of Life more.
Hold it! I know exactly what to play! You got what I need!
Wow, that totally captivated her.